Hello, and welcome to Vincent Damon's review of Ozzy Osbourne, Ordinary Man, Ozzy's new album. I haven't been a huge fan of the past few Ozzy albums, but I wouldn't really say that they're bad either. Usually they've got a few pretty awesome songs and a lot of pretty forgettable songs. My favorite album from Ozzy is definitely Blizzard of Oz. I like pretty much every Ozzy album to different degrees, so it's not like I hate any of them. Ozzy is a legend. He has a legacy. I don't really need to explain it. Let's get into it. We're going to go kind of track by track. So first up is Straight to Hell. This was released as a single before the album. Big sound, huge production, loud, big stadium rocker. A fun track, not super memorable. Ozzy's voice is sounding really good. I mean, obviously there's probably some studio stuff going on. They probably got Melodyne cranked up. Who knows? But I mean, come on. It's like, he sounds great. And it's clearly his voice. It might be adjusted a bit here and there, but Ozzy is sounding great. He's sounding like Ozzy, and he's sounding great. Track number 2, All My Life. Sort of depressing lyrics. Ozzy's kind of looking back at his life, which becomes kind of a theme over this whole album. Overall, I'd say this track is a little bit bland. It's sort of mid-tempo, just kind of goes through the motions and then ends. Really good guitar solo. The drums have a really big, powerful sound. The sound of the drums is just awesome. It's big and sounds great. Track number 3 is Goodbye. Moody kind of intro. Big sound again. The riff is awesome. The guitar sounds great. This is like a really good guitar line on this track. Ozzy's here in track 3 saying goodbye. There's a lyric that says, "My work is done here, so it's goodbye." As fans of Ozzy, we don't want to hear him saying stuff like that. We don't want to say goodbye, you know? A little bit depressing. This track sounds like late period Ozzy, like in the 2000s, but one of the really good songs from that time period. Track number 4, Ordinary Man. It has Elton John on it. It has the sound of a lot of classic Ozzy sort of soft tracks. From his beginning, he's had these kind of tracks that are a little bit softer and sort of have like acoustic guitars and stuff like that. So it's not out of character to have something like this in here at all. It totally sounds like classic Ozzy. On this track in particular, Ozzy's voice sounds like it's been adjusted quite a bit, but it just kind of sticks out a little bit in parts. It's not a big deal. Elton John on this track is good. He's fine. It sort of seems more like a cameo than like a full-on guest performance. I don't know. Maybe he's playing the piano on the track too. I'm not sure. Maybe that's him playing it. He just kind of comes in and sings a little part and then he's gone. So it's good, but it's not groundbreaking. I guess the fact that he collaborated with Ozzy is kind of a big deal. Again, a pretty morbid theme here. I don't want to die an ordinary man. Don't forget me. Sounds like, hey, I'm heading out now, so bye. Kind of depressing. It's a bummer. It is what it is, though. Track 5, Under the Graveyard. It starts out sounding a lot like the track with Post Malone that came out last year. This was put out as a single before the album, so maybe they intentionally did that to link the two releases, linking the Post Malone album to this album. It is produced by the same guy, produced by Andrew Watt. Really good kind of quiet to loud track. I like this one. The only thing is it has a strange solo. It sounds like something that Jack White might do or something. It doesn't quite fit the track in my opinion. The morbidity continues. Ain't living this life no more. We're rooting for you, man. Hang in there. Track 6, Eat Me. Strange little harmonica intro. Then this really cool riff comes in. The riff is really awesome. Sounds a lot like Zakk Wylde, especially the solo that comes in later. More morbidity. Eat me when I'm dead, basically. Track 7, Today Is the End. I don't really like this song. A pop sound. I don't really know what this is meant to be. The parts other than the chorus are pretty good. It's got like a heavy sound, but when it goes to that chorus, I just don't like it. Track 8, Scary Little Green Men. This is a fun one. How long have they been living in my head? A good change of pace from all the dark, morbid lyrics. It's kind of a weird little song. He's singing about aliens. This is the guy who wrote the song about Aleister Crowley back in the day. So it's not out of character to have weird stuff about aliens and alien invasions on Earth. I don't think it's out of character for Ozzy to have a goofy song like this. I'm really not sure if this is like a literal thing or if it's supposed to be some kind of a metaphor where the aliens in the song are standing in for something else. It's a song about aliens invading Earth and how people are so excited about aliens until they get attacked by them. It's fun. I like the song. Does Ozzy know something that we don't know about aliens? Track 9, Holy for Tonight. Sort of a lighter song, got pianos and tambourines in it. Tomorrow is my last goodbye. Oh, no. The song sounds a little bit out of place on an Ozzy album, but it's not bad. You start noticing that it's kind of going for a Queen sound. As soon as that guitar solo hit, I realized that it's doing like a Brian May guitar sound. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of this track. Number 10, It's a Raid, featuring Post Malone. Kicks off with a bang. It's got like a dirty sound, sort of like punk or early Guns N' Roses. It's got a pretty unexpected sound, especially when you look at the track listing and see that Post Malone is the guest on the track. You don't expect it to sound like this. It's really good. I like this one a lot. Well produced, a good vocal line. It's exciting. Post is singing on the track and not rapping, which is cool. It sounds good. You can tell they're having fun with it. I actually love this song. This might be my favorite one on the album. They're just going wild. It's just a fun song. Real heaviness, real energy, has a good ending. There's a phrase that's said at the very end of the song, which I thought would be a really great ending to the album. F you all, right at the end of the track, just to end the album with that would have been awesome. But we have track 11 now, Take What You Want, which was originally on the Post Malone album from last year. I loved the song. I'm a fan of Post Malone. I liked this song when it was on his album, but I don't think it belongs here. It should be like a bonus track or something, if anything at all, rather than like a full-on album track, especially to be the track that ends the album. Especially on this album where it sounds like Ozzy is anticipating it to be his last release. It is a good song, and I guess for the Ozzy fans who never checked out Post Malone's album, this is new to them, and it's going to be a shocker because it's nothing like an Ozzy song. But it's good. I like it. Overall, it's a pretty good album. Big sound, well produced, fun to listen to. My complaints are that it doesn't have many standout, memorable tracks. Some of the tracks just aren't very good. Of course, there were a couple that were really awesome. Still, Ozzy sounds great here. There's a lot of energy. It sounds like he intends this to be his last album, almost as if he is not anticipating to be around long enough to put another one out, which is pretty depressing and not... I mean, it was a surprise to me when I heard the album in full, how much the album focuses on oncoming death. He's an old guy, he's got health problems, but as a fan of Ozzy, someone who grew up listening to Ozzy, being a fan of his, it's a bummer to hear an album talking about how he's getting ready to die. Who knows though, maybe I'm misinterpreting it. Maybe this is just him kind of putting in some dark lyrics without meaning that this is like, oh, I'm about to die or something like that. It just feels like a bummer though. In the end, this is an album that retains the spirit of all great Ozzy releases. It's a loud, fun metal album with great, strong pop tendencies, and it will sound great being cranked out of your car stereo speakers. Overall, the quality level is consistently higher than some recent Ozzy albums, and there is certainly more variety here than you would expect. My rating for this album is 4 Ozzy guitarists out of 5.